Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. This coming Shabbat, we read a double Torah portion of Parshiot Vayakhel-Pekudei. These two Torah portions come at the end of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. When we first began this book, the Israelites were escaping from slavery in Egypt, escaping the harshness of Pharaoh. And now that they're wandering in the desert, it seems that they have achieved some sort of homeostasis, and they're able to turn their hearts and their minds towards higher spiritual matters. And that is why I would suggest that the majority of this week's Torah portions deal with the building of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, or the mobile place of worship for the Israelites while they were wandering in the desert. What is interesting, though, is that before the portions get into the details of the building of the Mishkan, God commands Moses to command the Israelites, Sheshet Ya'amim ta'aseh melacha, uvayom hashvi'i yeh lechem, kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton Lashem. And the translation of this line is actually a little bit in question, at least especially the first part. Usually it's translated as, for 6 days you can work, and on the seventh day it shall be a day of holiness, a day of rest for you, for God. But I would suggest that we might want to think about the translation in a slightly different way. First of all, the rabbis ask, why does this particular commandment show up here, right before the details of the building of the Mishkan? And the answer that is traditionally given, for example, Chizkuni says that we are told and commanded to follow the Shabbat right here because it is a reminder that the Israelites should not work on Shabbat when it comes to the building of the Mishkan. Rashi even says that this is to remind us that the building of a holy object, a building of a sacred space, not just any sacred space, but the Mishkan itself, does not doche Shabbat, does not override the Sabbath. And yet, while I would agree with this, I would suggest that our take should not be from the negative, but from the positive. That is, that this should not only teach us about what we should not do, but this particular pasuk, this particular verse should teach us what we should do. And so I like to translate this as 6 days you shall work, and on the seventh day you shall celebrate Shabbat. Some people go as far as to say that the word sheshet is actually the gematria of 39. 39 are, of course, the prohibitions that the Torah give us, according to the rabbis, that we're not allowed to do on Shabbat. The 39 types of work that we're not allowed to do on Shabbat. And from where do they come? They come from the 39 different types of work that were used to build the Mishkan. If Sheshet 39 is understood to be what we can't do, I also believe it is what we should do. It is an imperative for us to not only celebrate Shabbat and make Shabbat holy, but it is imperative for us to make the days that are chol, the days that are normal, the days that are mundane from Sunday to Friday, holy as well. And how do we do that? We do that by performing holy actions. We do that by using the phone to call people who are sick, people who are in need. We do that by performing our jobs in a way that makes this world a better place. We do that by using these 6 days from Sunday through Friday to bring holiness into this world. And that, I believe, is what this pasuk is also teaching us. That, I believe, is what this verse is also teaching us. This verse is here not only to teach us what we can't do on Shabbat, but it is also here to teach us what we must do the rest of the week. We must make sure that our time in this world, all 7 days of every week of our entire life, are used as wisely and as well as they possibly can be, so that indeed we are working 6 days out of the week and resting on the seventh. Shabbat Shalom.